Peace to the gods, peace to the earths, peace to all the righteous families of the planet Earth, peace to those that really strive to practice peace. This is your man, King Lou is Allah, coming to you on this Wisdom Equality Day of July. I just want to build with y'all. I said I was coming back and I was going to talk about narcissism, and relationships. That's been, I've been dealing with that somewhat, narcissism, and so I'm gonna touch on some things. Like I say, the date is Wisdom Equality. If you add that up, you get 8 in Supreme Mathematics as build or destroy. And so, when you build something, like when you have land and you build on that land, you are building up the earth, so you're destroying vacancy, right? And so sometimes, to build, you have to destroy. To grow, you have to destroy. And, that's in a positive manner, destroy, meaning, letting old things go, things that aren't good for you, and that's destroying that in you to build a better you, right? So, to destroy bad habits and, cut out bad people and to grow and develop is destroying, your old self, which wasn't productive, It doesn't necessarily mean go out and bomb somebody, bomb your enemies and nothing like that. You just destroying, doing away with things that don't help you build, grow, and develop into your best, better self. So that's all that means. I didn't want to do this. I didn't want to talk about Will&Jada. They out there at the red farms, they taking deep breaths, man. They, I don't know what they doing, but I'm way in on that too. Both of them, from what they tell us, are damaged. They have been damaged. And, people say Hollywood made up of weirdos and crazy people, or when they get to Hollywood, they change to crazy people, weirdos, or maybe they was just damaged before they got to Hollywood, and, when they are acting, the damaged self is what you see in the public, right? So, so they are both damaged. Is that why they stayed together so long? I believe that their open relationship, so they say, was probably the demise or help destroy the unity, the union that they needed to have, right? And I thought about it. The crazy girl from New York asked if I wanted to be in an open relationship with her, and I was like, "What's the point of being in a relationship? That don't make no sense." Especially when you married. See, when you married, you're supposed to form a union, man and woman, husband and wife, bride and groom. And so, where they are today, I think, that last episode that they high five each other and say bad marriage for life. I think I think that's terrible. I think that's terrible. They shared that Will tried to fix Jada, right? She was damaged. She was extremely damaged. He was damaged himself, but he was trying to, he loved her. From what they shared, it seemed like he loved her more than himself, right? He didn't want another failed marriage, right? And so you got a damaged man that loves a damaged woman, and I think he said something like, they said something like she cried for 40 days and 40 nights, and he done everything in his power to fix that, to alleviate her pain, her distress. They have professional people come out, do they do, I believe, I don't know, I think they need to seek professional counseling. Both of them, they need marriage counseling, and they need individual talk therapy. They need couples therapy, and they need individual therapy. Not sitting at a table on Facebook and talking about other people's issues. I think y'all seen Will. I haven't seen him in a while on internet or nowhere else. But the last Red Book table, he was kind of down, and people searching or seeing if they really acting. I can't tell. He was really down, right? And I think Will, they act like a couple with no money, right? Like, the number one cause for breakups is money, is not enough money, or the one of the spouses, husband is cannot handle or manage money, and then is cheating or extramarital situations, right? I don't like to use the word cheating in extramarital situations because it's not a game, and so people cheat at games. Your life, your marriage, your relationship shouldn't be treated as a game. So that's the science of language that come into play, that people need to reprogram themselves. They call themselves players and cheating. You cheating yourself. If you stray and on your husband or your wife, and so open relationships. When you wanted to be married, it allows undesirable energy and people into your life that's supposed to be a special private union. So I think they was wrong from day one. I think Jada, and I don't know, but I don't think Will, used the open relationship pass. I don't think he done anything, right? I think Jada was trying to be realistic and say this man, in her opinion, gonna turn heads. Women throw themselves at him, and she didn't want to be, a hater of his celebrity, and And I think, she and I think she didn't want him to block her, her attention that, that she was receiving by being a single celebrity, right? And so I think that's why they, decided to have an open relationship. But, I think that was misguided youth. That's where they went wrong. If they could imagine themselves 25 years of togetherness without being in an open relationship and just building together and just raising a family and building together. I mean, man, them the strongest couples, man. My grandparents, man, they was, couldn't nothing break them. And so, to have a love like that, man. And so the key, that I learned watching my grandfather, my mother's parents that basically raised me, the key is to allow your woman, your wife, to chill with you, right? It's a saying, if we can't chill together, we can't build together, right? And so I don't know what year my grandparents got married, but they was married a long time. And but the key is, my grandmother was strict, stern, and she would, and she had a high-pitched voice, and to me sometimes, she seemed like a nag, right? Sometimes, and the Bible frowns upon a nagging woman, right? But I ain't her husband, I ain't her boyfriend, I'm her grandson, and I'm in her home. She take care of me. So if I don't like, I can go, stand up, go hold a tree up, and she used to tell me that all the time. But what I thought was nagging, now I look back, was like music to my grandfather's ears. Whatever, and so, they was together so long, it's like, she would forget stuff at the store, and he had to go back to the store 3-4 times a day just to get buttermilk. Got to go back and get bacon soda, forgot the bacon, got to go back and get turkey bacon. And they was retired, so it wasn't nothing, but he'd put the paper down, get up, be chuckling to himself, and just, but some men would get frustrated with that, and he never got frustrated with my grandmother, never. He would say, "Oh, B, da da da," not B as in bitch, but that was her name, B, Beatrice, right? And so he never got frustrated. It was never a problem. If he could do it, he'd do it. And if he couldn't do it, he'd get it done, get somebody to do it. And if he didn't have enough, he'd call my mother or his my aunt, right? And say, your mama want another TV or something. It was never, nothing was never a problem. Nothing. He and her adopted my grandmother's brother's 9 children. Her brother and his wife died early, and so my grandmother didn't want to split up his children, so they adopted her brother 9 children. And, they called him Dad, Papa, Uncle Elmer, And so, it was, it was all good, man. My grandfather, man, hats off. And, I was young, and sometimes I had a little temper, and sometimes I try to buck at holler at my grandmother. when, you know, I was in grade school, and he'd come outside. He checked me one time, come outside, say, "Don't you ever talk to your grandmother like." But anyway, man, you know, yeah, man. So the key to a good relationship is allowing your woman to really be her when she is with you. You see, if, you know, I mean, so you, and so all of her, you know, her past, her future, her present has to be able to, you got to understand where she's coming from. You see? And so, he understood where she was coming from. And so, man, and so I don't, and so I don't know if Will understood where Jada was coming from. Now, he got some domestic abuse in his past childhood, and she does too. And so, I think they need just counseling. And so I was gonna talk about some of the decisions he made may come from him being divorced. He sold off Overbrook, and so he started a Westbrook movie company. And I'm like, and so this is what I'm talking about, money. Like, I think he's like sold the rights of majority share percentage of Overbrook. And I'm like, why would you do that when Overbrook is your bread and butter? That don't make no sense. And so it's like, he's unraveling, right? And and I heard her talk to them, sometimes she get mad about some of the roles he take, and I do too. But he make millions doing that. But it's like his, that was bad business. He built that brand. He went from, he transitioned from Fresh Prince to Overbrook Films. That was the name of his high school. And so it's like, why would you sell that off? Why would you kill game? It's like, it's like he not thinking proper, right? I think that was a bad business move. Overbrook was successful, and if he he got I'm pretty sure a large amount of money, but I hear him express the need for money. It's like, man, you supposed to be paid. You supposed to be paid. You supposed to at least be sitting on just at close reach $10 million. Just at close reach with saving accounts all over the world. So I don't know what's going on with that. That's could have been a move to didn't want to split that with Jada if a divorce was coming. I don't know. I told them that because I think somebody else is CEO of Overbrook, and I told them he need to be the CEO of Overbrook, and Jada need to be the COO, and Willow and Trey and Jada need to be officers in the company. With they brothers and sisters. You see, and so I've been looking. I don't think Will ever had control of Overbrook or the business of film and TV making. I mean, that's my opinion. That's from observation. He could be in total control. I don't know. So it just ain't make good sense, right? So I'm through with that, man. I hope they get it together. I just spent 20 minutes talking about Will and Jada. I wasn't gonna talk about them. It's gonna get better, the videos. And so I want to talk about narcissism, right? Now I'm gonna talk about narcissism and the nation of gods and earths. Right? Wait a minute. Yeah, nation of gods and earths. You know, I had some more relationship talk. I was okay. I was like, relationships should be built on equality, and friendships should come before love, right? And so, I heard women talk about, that they would, they like a man so much that they will give him a baby, but they don't want to be friends. And so I'm like, friends first. And so I'm like, well, if you don't want to be friends and you give him a baby and y'all fall out, you not cool with your baby daddy. You know, what kind of world is that to bring a child up in? And so it's like women out here, they jumping the gun early. That's a track statement, when you take off before the gun is fired, right? Back in the day, it was a courting process when you are the judge. And so you are judging a potential mate's character, right? You trying to see if you can trust that person, right? And if you can build with that person. So I heard somebody say that people date to get married. Well, you're supposed to date to learn the person, to see if you would marry that person. The dating process is a filling out, learning process, learning who that person is. Say pain is just the fear of pain. The more you endure, the more you can take. And then I was gonna talk about for our relationships, cuckolding. Cuckolding versus courting. Courting, I got down here, there's a time period, but cuckolding is, and I say this a lot to people in the entertainment business. It's a lot of cuckolding going on, right? That's that comes from, that's a bird. That's a female bird that dominates the male bird with other male birds, right? And so cuckolding in the entertainment business and elsewhere can ruin a relationship, right? Cuckolding is you watching your woman on the screen with other man or women in a sexual situation. Now they tell you they acting, but how can you not get excited or aroused, right? And so cuckolding in the entertainment business can ruin a relationship. And so people gotta be, mindful of the relationships they are in with other people. When they sign on to do sex scenes and be husband and wives on screen. You see, that trust got to be built, right? Trust got to be built. Friendship got to be built. And where you know this person well enough to know that, they really doing the job and they not, secretly getting their freak on. You see? So that's, I think that's it about relationships, man. think that's it about relationships for now. I'm gonna talk about narcissism now, right? You know, I've been dealing with this, man. You know, I've been dealing with people that's been going through showing narcissistic rage, you know, which is an outburst of intense anger or silence. You know, both of these things happen to a person with narcissistic personality disorder. You know, they feel their self-esteem or self-worth is threatened or injured by someone else or an event. You know, they may act out and feel grandiose or superior to others, right? Pause. I'm gonna talk about narcissism, and the nation of God's and earth's names, right? You know, people been saying, you ain't no king. You ain't no king. You think you all that. I never thought I was all that. Never. I ain't done nothing to, be all that, right? I ain't, but this is, back in the past, I was dealing with people with low self-esteem and low self-worth, right? So now that I changed my name to King Lou is Allah, and I call them narcissists, or I learned they have been, or they are narcissists. They look at me funny because I got King on my first name and Allah, so they think I'm a king god or something. You know, that's just my name. It's the power of words, right? And the power of words is the science of language. And so whatever we speak comes to life, I refer to, you can either build yourself up or tear yourself down. With what you think of yourself or what you call yourself, right? You are making an agreement with whatever you say after I, right? So if I tell you I am King Lou is Allah, right? So I'm making an agreement with myself, with my self-esteem, with my mind, that this is who I am. It is not to be superior or dominate the next person. This is just, who I am, and how I'm going to feel about myself, right? So that knowledge leads me to refer to myself, to change my name to King Lou is Allah, or whatever I want it to be. I'm through being dog. I'm through being with Lou motherfucking dog. Dog walks on 4 legs. Dog walks on another non-horizontal plane to man. Dog is a beast. Dog is an animal. Once you get knowledge of self, you supposed to become civilized and not a dog. Dogs are trained and owned and cared for by man. When I say man, I mean man and women. So I'm not a dog. But I didn't mind being called dog, because dog reverse is God, right? So I don't have a problem, but for future reference, I'm not, I'm not a dog, and and so it is always better to build yourself up and those that are around you, not down. This is why in the nation of God's earth, we refer to each other as God, King, Lord, Master, Queen, Earth, Moon, Goddess, Wisdom, Allah, Lord, any positive attribute we can think of, right? So, you know, I'm just reading my notes. Just say, man's progression must be founded on knowledge. Through knowledge of himself can he expect to progress, right? All knowledge is based on experience. No one can deny his or her existence. Can you dig it? Man's progression, that's your progress has to come from the knowledge that you gain on how to progress, and then you must apply that knowledge to progress in life. Through knowledge of yourself, only you can expect to progress, not a mystery God, but knowledge of yourself. All knowledge is based on experience. All knowledge is based on experience. No one can deny his or her existence. You know, we can't deny that we're here. And so while we're here, you know, why you gotta beef with people, right? So, but yeah, man. So, I'm not crazy. They locked Father Allah, the founder of the NGE, Nation of Gods of Earth, back in 1960 something. They put him in, they locked him up in a psychiatric ward because he was telling people he was Allah the Father, and they thought he was crazy. But I guess when he finished breaking it down, they let him out. And so, this goes back to narcissism. People who suffer from narcissistic personality disorder, which is characterized by extreme arrogance or self-absorption, right? They lack empathy. They lack empathy and the inability to share in and understand the feeling of others, right? And so it's people out here that, that's hating on me today, has a narcissistic personality disorder. I'm not gonna say no name, but it's a lot of them. Oh man. And then so I had to check myself, and I had to see if I was suffering from cognitive dissonance, right? That's the psychological concept of the feeling of tension that happens when someone holds two conflicting beliefs, right? Two conflicting beliefs, ideas, or value at the same time. That's like Christianity versus Islam versus the Nation of Gods of Earth, right? Cognitive dissonance. The psychological concept of the feeling of tension that happens when someone holds two conflicting beliefs, beliefs, ideas, or values at the same time. See, like for Dr. Umar, that'd be, liking white women and liking black women at the same time. It'd be two conflicting beliefs, that he holds, and he would be suffering from cognitive dissonance. Dissonance means not in harmony, not in balance, leading to an altercation or a change in attitudes. Changing attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors to reduce the confusion and restore the balance. Dissonance, not in harmony and unbalanced, leading to an altercation to change an altercation, a change in attitudes, beliefs, or behaviors to reduce the confusion and restore balance. right? That's what dissonance is. So I learned, there's no cognitive dissonance for me. I'm not confused about if I want to continue to call myself King Louis Allah and practice and teach and study the nation of gods and earths, right? And I want to touch on enlightenment and what that means. People been trying to trip, man. They say they think I'm talking in code or something, right? Like, they think, my regular conversation is, like I'm talking deep in code. I'm not, When I say I don't want nothing to do with a person, I'm not setting a trap or a play to work behind the scenes to go be cool with that person and then show it on YouTube. When I say I really don't want nothing to do with you, I don't want nothing to do with you. Enlightenment, when you take on the 9,000-mile trip of getting knowledge of self, you need an enlightener. That is because the nation of gods and earths translation and understanding of the 120 supreme wisdom lessons is different from the Nation of Islam teaching and understanding. But the Nation of Islam and the Nation of Gods and Earths study from the same 120 degree supreme wisdom lessons, but we teach it over here different in the Nation of Gods and Earths. And then we have supreme mathematics and supreme alphabet added on to it, plus some other 12 jewels, right? About, having peace, happiness, justice, food, clothing, shelter, And so they think it's a joke, they call it an enlightener because the Nation of Islam had a problem with what the father did by taking the lessons and putting them in the street, taking the 120 and putting them in the street. And so, it was taught orally, and so they had to teach you how to be God over what the Nation of Islam was teaching you on how to be a good Muslim. You see, in the Nation of God Earth, we teach you how to be God and Goddess, sun and moon, you know what I'm saying, God and earth. While over in the Nation of Islam, they teach you to be the fruit of Islam, and they teach you to be soldiers, and they teach you to be, good, righteous Muslims. And so it's different. We learn to depend on ourselves. And so we must learn about everything we can learn about, right? And people start, and so say I'm not talking in code, but it's like to be enlightened is to recognize when people say grand rising. Grand rising, God, over versus good morning, dog, right? Good morning, right? I never like to say good morning or hello. See, hell is low, but that's a greeting. That's that's the science of the language of power of words. Hell low, hell is low. I mean, my mother used to say good morning and hello to me every time, and it would depress the fuck out of me every time. Hello, you can't speak. I mean, it was just so depressing, right? And so so changing your language, being enlightened is recognizing that, good morning is really keeping you down to sleep when you supposed to go up and be up and productive, you know. And so, you got some things that, this cat, Papa Duck, manifested. He was saying how, I knew this already, but I heard it again through him that, you got, the days of the week, right? So tomorrow is Monday. You say, good morning, I'm ready to go work 7 days of the week. But, when you break that back down, if you enlighten, if you not enlightened or you slave-minded, you are under spell, and so you fit into the category of you are in a daze and you are weak. See, that's enlightened, right? Enlightened is recognizing that, the days of the week is being a mental slave out here, not educated, not striving to build, to be free, to be free to practice your own culture without conflict. You see? So that's what enlightenment is. And enlightenment is to let light in. You see? And so enlightenment and enlighten in enlightenment is you mean, or you meant to let light in, right? Enlightened is let light in while putting an end to darkness. Enlighten, you see? So that's enlightened. I don't know what when I mean I ain't playing with you, I ain't playing with you. When I don't want nothing to do with you, I don't want nothing to do with you. Never mean never. Never mean no. See what I'm saying? So, man, y'all got it twisted, fucked up. I'm not talking in code, I don't talk to y'all, man. I had to tell people, I got some relatives I ain't talked to, and they have invented FaceTime. See what I'm saying? So it's no excuse why friends and so-called family members that's supposed to be in touch can't stay in touch, can't talk, communicate. So I ain't had no dealings with nobody, and I'm not talking in code, saying no but meaning yes. That's not enlightenment. Enlightenment, real enlightenment by the nation of God's earth is to let light in. Light is knowledge. Light is truth. Let knowledge and truth in, and that will end darkness. Enlightened. Enlightenment is, yes, you meant to let the light in. You got to know what you're doing. So, I hope I'm making sense to y'all, man. Y'all rushed this video. You know what I'm saying? I got some notes. Mental builders equal masons and magi, right? Magi. That's what they saying. I don't know about that. And so, this is, back to the names, man. You got rappers, that, change their name. Some of them do, just because, they know that, they trying to wake up, I believe white people want us to change our name. I think they tired of, white people being a crutch for black people. So, I think white people tired of black people using slavery as a crutch. And so I think, I think white people want black people to wake up and change their name and, learn about themselves so we can stop talking about what the transatlantic slave trade done to us, right? So I think this it, man. I'm gonna hit you with this. Man. I think that's it. It's 45 minutes. So almost an hour. That's about slavery and Christianity. Yeah. And just so you know, man, religion was introduced, Christianity was introduced to us through slavery. And if I had to know or learn something, I would rather know about myself or study something that requires or teaches me that I am self-Lord and master, right? That's ISLAM. I am self-Lord and master, or self-Lord and master. That's spelled Islam, right? That's Islam as far as the nation of God on earth is concerned. I self-Lord and I would rather study that I am self-Lord versus Jesus and, God that's taking his time and know how many hairs I got on my head, but, he don't know my bill due and I can't, and Christianity teach you that your employer is master or others are master and you are servant, and it teaches you to lean not on your own understanding. That means do not trust yourself, which creates self-doubt and low self-esteem. See, but knowledge of self teaches you understanding is a key component to having a life. And the first process of understanding, is, which is 3, is getting knowledge and wisdom. So 1, 2, 3, 1 plus 2 plus 3 is knowledge and wisdom. So, man. So that's it, man. That's almost 48 minutes. I hope this video ain't confused y'all. I don't know if I'm going to review it before I put it up. I know I was all over the place, man, but I think if you watch it repeatedly, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking for your time because I'm going to try to help you get your mind right. I'm going to try to help you get your mind right. So, man. So, that's my time, man. Peace. I'm out.